Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Thank you guys for being here tonight. My name is Alexa, COO at BPM RIA, and we have our March monthly meeting. You heard it right. We are in March already, you guys. It's crazy. 3 months in to the new year. So I'm like already going to start calling it, 2026 here. It's like just flying by. But we're so excited for our meeting tonight. We have David Selvin here in the building at BPM RIA. That is Broward Palm Beach, Miami-Dade Real Estate Investors Association, your only local chapter here in South Florida that's partnered with the National RIA. So super blessed, super excited. But just to, put the cherry on top, we are raffling a free membership tonight. So if you are interested in winning a free membership 1 year to BPM RIA. This is a $295 value. All you need to do is text the word membership to 954-800-6961. And I went and popped that in the chat for you guys. I'm going to pop it in again for those that are trickling on in here. But go ahead and text in if you'd like to win the raffle. Go do it right now, and good luck. Alrighty, upcoming events, you guys, we have so much to look forward to this spring. Super excited to see you guys very soon. We'll have some in-person events coming up on our calendar very, very soon. So please keep an eye on the calendar on the events blog. I popped the link in the chat for you guys so you can go ahead and register for everything that's posted right now. But just keep in mind, we have way more events to post for this spring. So keep on checking the website. We have, our monthly meeting tonight, of course, but we want to do a webinar next week. So this is a little bit different, but please send me an email. I'm going to pop my email in the chat right now if you have a suggestion for next week's meeting. I already have something in mind already in my brain, but I'm open to hearing what you guys have to recommend me and Anish. So I pop my email in there. Send me an email if you have a recommendation for a class that we should teach next week. Just a little heads up, I've been getting a ton of calls, wholesaling recently. So, sounding like we should have a wholesaling class, but you guys let me know. Send me an email and tell me what you guys want to learn next week from Anish. We also have our tax planning strategies webinar, which all attendees will get a special bonus for attending this webinar with Jose Ramirez. So we'll see you guys 2 times next week, back to back. And then mark your calendars. We will have that fractional demo on Saturday, March 23rd. It'll be a half day. It'll be on Zoom, cameras on, mics on, very interactive, and we're going to get into so much. We're going to get a lot deeper into what we did on our webinar with them yesterday. And again, mark your calendars for our next quarterly meeting. This will be at Nova Southeastern University on Wednesday, April 3rd from 5:30 to 8:30. Mark your calendars, please, 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 you guys. I'm going to have the registration up. I already have the link up, but you guys will find it in the email that I'm going to send you guys tonight. So you can get ahead on all this stuff and get it all marked in your calendar. I'm ready to go. So easy way to keep up with events, my favorite way, is via text. If you'd like text updates for all of our events, all you need to do is text the word BPM REIA, all one word, no spaces, to our event line, and you will get automatic text updates for all of our upcoming events with the registration included right there for you. Super convenient, super easy. So go ahead and do that if you are interested in getting text updates. Alrighty, our next quick start. You guys, the year is flying. This will be our second quick start of the year. So please go check out the link. I'm going to pop it in the chat for you. This is going to be our 2 full day Zoom training. We consider this a boot camp. This is going to be all about wholesaling and rehabbing. We have 4 guest speakers on this training. It is absolutely incredible. It's a money back guarantee and the easiest way to get all the tips and tricks and strategies that we teach in our one-on-one mentoring and coaching. So I highly recommend this training to anyone that's interested in wholesaling, rehabbing, adding some additional strategies to their tool belt. Maybe your traditional real estate, you're going to get some non-traditional strategies out of this training. We have member pricing and non-member pricing here for you. So go check out the link to get all the details. And thank you guys so much for responding to this poll that got popped up here. You guys may see some polls popping up. So go ahead and respond to those. That helps me understand so much better, what you guys are looking for, what you need, and what you want to learn. So good stuff. Alrighty, members, as you know, you get all the goodies. You get the discounts. You get all the good stuff from National RIA. We get a whole benefit package from the National RIA, discounts to Home Depot, Avis, Budget, FedEx, shipping, all the things, junk removal, all these things that all investors need. You get a ton of discounts, your own special package there from National RIA, but you also get in free for our quarterly networking meetings. Your guests come in for half price, all great stuff. So go to the link in the chat right now to get your membership and start getting all these benefits. Alrighty, mentoring and coaching here at BPM RIA. Some of you may know we offer one-on-one coaching and mentoring. Some of you may not. For those that are interested in having your own personal mentor, getting 100% of the money put up for your deals, this is the kind of training that we offer here at BPM RIA. We offer 2 different types of mentoring programs. So to get all the information for that, to have a nice conversation with me, to get you the brochure, the pricing, answer some questions for you, all you need to do is go to our website, bpmria.com, book a discovery call, and I will be more than happy to set up this 1-hour free consultation with a mentor for you to get some more feedback and get your questions answered, and also get you that brochure so you can start diving into what we're doing here. So thank you guys so much always for listening to my intros here. I always want to wish you all the best and cheers to your success. Just a few housekeeping rules. David is going to take control of tonight's meeting. As you guys know, he's going to be teaching us some awesome stuff. So please, if you have any questions for David, please put those in the Q&A box. You'll see in your Zoom menu, you have some buttons here. We have a Q&A box, so you can put all your questions in. I'll be putting some helpful things in the chat for you guys, so keep your eyes on the chat. And I will send each and every one of you an email right after today's call, just to kind of recap everything and also just get connected with you. We are recording tonight's session, so you will be able to find the replay on our YouTube channel. But before you head off, we have a lot to cover. We want to get your questions answered, so please get those questions in the Q&A, and just know you will, if you're going to win the raffle, you have to be here until the end. So we're so excited. Okay, go ahead, Anish.
Yeah, thank you, Alexa. And I do see a lot of new faces today. So in case you don't know who I am, my name is Anish Dave, CEO of BPM RIA. We are the only approved chapter of National RIA in South Florida. I am super excited. We had a phenomenal 2023. And one of the things that you guys have told us is, man, what do I do about credit? How do I get business credit? How do I really start leveraging the banks, right? And how do I always tell people, the more money you borrow, you push inflation to the lender. That's how you beat inflation. So there's strategies out there that you have to do to get yourself in the right spot, because we see a ton of opportunity in our market. We've done workshops where we're talking about pre-foreclosures, probates, and the key is you need to have money. And one of the cool things is that I've been very fortunate. I've met David about I want to say about a year ago. We are in the same mastermind group with Marshall Silver in the Inner Circle. And I was lucky to actually meet him and his family, his beautiful wife and daughter at an event. And we started talking. And he started explaining some of these strategies. And I said, whoa, that is moving way too fast. There's no way I'm going to have this information in time to my group, because what happens is, as my wife tells me, I only listen to 1 out of the 10 things she says me. So I'd come back here with nothing. So instead, I did something even better. I got my dear friend David to hop on. He's actually out in Las Vegas. We're so grateful that he's been so busy going around the country teaching these amazing strategies that he kind of squeezed us in. So, David, I'm going to pass it on to you. And, we look forward to it. And thank you again for squeezing us in the first part of 2024.
Thank you, Anish. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm excited for what everybody here tonight is getting ready to learn. You guys are going to learn what I call credit card kung fu. How many of you guys would like to walk around with a book of, oh, my screen's a little blurred, but how would you like to walk around with a book of credit cards like that? That's what I do. And here's the thing, like Anish said, I'm in Las Vegas. I live in Northern California. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I invest all over the United States. And right now I've been spending the past week in Las Vegas. Top of the week was my wife and I's anniversary. We celebrated 26 years together, and I'm super grateful for that I had somebody to stick by my side all this time, even back when I was a knucklehead. And now, I have other speaking engagements also with Marshall Silver and Inner Circle that I have to speak at. So I figured I'll come out here, celebrate our anniversary, and then the remainder of the week, it's business. And my wife understands that that's what takes care of everything. So I'm enjoying life out here, having a good time, and I'm excited for what's coming. So let me share my screen and share these slides with you guys so you guys can really take a deep dive in how you can purchase real estate cash-free, or what I call my cash-free real estate system. Basically, a way where you use business credit. And we're going to talk about private money and private money lenders and all of that as well. Yet, business credit has really got my start in real estate. And I'm going to explain that whole story to y'all too. So without further ado, let me share my screen here. All right. And maybe Anish or Alexa, just yell out if you can see my screen so I can see it once I share it. So I know you guys can.
Ooh, looking good, looking good.
Right.
Awesome. Ready to rock.
All right. So a little bit about me. This is my beautiful family that Anish just talked about. It's my 3 beautiful, amazing children, my wife. Like I said, we just celebrated our anniversary, and just super blessed to have this family. My oldest daughter there on the left, I had her when I was 17 years old. So, I'm telling you guys all this because I come from humble beginnings. I come from the bottom. I was at the bottom in life. I didn't come with a silver spoon fed to me in my mouth. I came from the bottom, and I was able to make multiple 6 figures in real estate using the strategies that I'm getting ready to share with you today. And I'm super excited for what you're getting ready to learn. I have an 8-figure real estate portfolio. I do a lot of wholesaling. So I'm actively investing and I'm passively investing. So I actively have a wholesaling business, fixing and flipping, runs like a well-oiled machine. I have all my teams in place that handle that. I also do a lot of subject to deals, basically taking over the payments, and I usually hold those a little longer and do rent to own situations with those. And I'm also a part of a lot of multifamily. I own a lot personally. I own a lot of multifamily just by myself. I'm also a part of syndications, a part of larger deals all around the U.S. So I'm super grateful and super fortunate to be a part of this because real estate changed my life. I'll show you a little bit into my life, a peek into what I like and what we do. Last year we probably took a vacation every 2 weeks, at least once a month. We were at a new location where we were visiting. There on the right, that's myself with my family back in the Virgin Islands for the second time. We rented 2 villas overlooking Magens Bay. This was on a mountaintop, this picture there, the top of St. Thomas. And it's just, I'm grateful to be able to provide this life for them. That was our anniversary last year at the bottom left. We spent the week in Tulum. That was dinner on the beach on our anniversary night. And as you see the checks, I make a lot of money flipping houses. And this is something you don't see often, is the cars. I'm into lowrider cars. I'm into classic lowrider cars. This is one of my cars. This is what it does. It's a chrome motor. I probably have about $40,000-$50,000 in the engine, and we make them hop and break them and have fun with them. And, real estate has provided me the opportunity to be able to do all this. I have a life like no other. And it wasn't always like that. In the beginning, I faced a lot of challenges. Fast forward before the beginning of real estate, just in my life alone, I faced a lot of challenges. When I was young, I was a product of the streets. I was gang banging and getting in all kind of trouble and doing all the wrong things that I wasn't supposed to do. And, fast forward to 2008, I was homeless, sleeping in the car with my wife and with my 2 daughters. My son wasn't born yet, but they remember that. And it's hurtful to even think about that I was in that situation, but that's where my life ended me. That's where I ended up. And fast forward, I started making money again. But I was making it the wrong way. And although I was making a lot of money, it was the wrong way. It was a way that wasn't sustainable. And one day, my son was born now. I'm looking at him and we're driving down the street and one of my classic, I was in my 64 Impala and I'm looking at him and he's bopping his head and he sees me bopping my head to the music. He's leaning and bopping his head. And I said, wait a second. If what I do, is it right for him? And I said, no way. I would never want my son to be involved in that lifestyle. And I said, well, if it's not right for him, what makes it right for me? I must lead by example. And at that point, I started striving to change my life. At this point, I developed such an exquisite life, I needed something to sustain that same lifestyle. And the only people I could think of that was making money like that were in real estate that I knew, that I personally knew. And one of the gentlemen, he invited me to a real estate mixer. They had a Christmas party, bought out the bar, and everybody there was in the real estate business. And I started meeting different people, and they started telling me about all the different things they were doing. And that's how I started getting, at that point, my mind was made up. I said, I got to do this by any means necessary. I got to figure out a way to do this. But at first, and this is a limited belief. Never, ever, ever, I don't care what situation you're in, don't ever think you can't do something. Because at that time, my limited belief was, well, because I started taking real estate trainings. And my limited belief was, because in the trainings they said, okay, well, to get the money, you get a private money lender, call everybody in your phone book, tell them what you're doing. I said, I can't. And my limited belief was because I was in trouble and I lived that street life in the past, people were not going to take me serious. I felt like I had to do a few deals first, show credibility. Then they will help me out. Then they will be willing to invest with me. And you know what? That was all in here. So never, ever think that you can't do something, because you can do, be, or have anything you want to be in life. It's just up to you to change your circumstances. So that's number one. Real estate, the biggest part of real estate is mindset. Mindset is the biggest factor in real estate. A lot of people think you need the skill set, and you do need the skill set, but what's more importantly is mindset. So at that time, I didn't think I could do that. So what did I do? I started seeking other ways to get the funding. I was like, well, I can't just, give up. I got to figure this out. And I stumbled across credit. I stumbled across business credit. I fixed my credit. My credit was terrible. My credit was in the dumps. I had like a 520 FICO score, and my credit was terrible. And I figured out how to fix that and get business funding. My first round of business funding I got, a business credit, was with credit card stacking. I got about 35 grand. A few months later, I got 65 grand. Then I ended up getting those limits raised. And then I ended up getting, I went for another round of funding, ended up getting 90 grand. Right now, just across all the credit cards that I have, just for my businesses alone, is right around a credit limit of about $2.2 million, and this just with credit cards and business lines of credit, because business line of credits come as credit cards and I can use them. It's unsecured. I can use them for my buying the real estate, which I do. I can use them for marketing, which I do. I can use it for whatever I want in my business. I faced a lot of challenges, when I didn't have the capital. I missed out on opportunities because I lacked capital. When I dived into real estate in California, in the Bay Area, the market was hot. I mean, on fire. It was on fire. I was just looking in one of my old notebooks. It's actually right here. I threw it in my bag. I grabbed the wrong notebook, threw it in my bag. It was an old notebook. And then I opened it up to look at it when I was on the airplane. And I seen it said Cranford Way, 7-day. And I remember I was talking to the agent on the phone. This one was on the MLS. I was talking to the agent on the phone. They said, if you want this offer to work, you better have a 7-day close, no contingencies. And I wrote under there, how about a 5-day contingency, 7-day close? But that's how we was buying real estate at that time. We were closing quickly. I mean, some deals, I've closed a deal in 2 days at one point, and so a lot of these deals will come to me from wholesalers or from agents that were like super good deals. And the fact that I didn't have the capital or the cash to take it down, I had to miss out on the deal because the hard money lenders I was using at the time, they couldn't close that quick. I mean, I have some now that could close really quick, but at that time, they couldn't close that quick. My deal flow was at a minimum because I was lacking a marketing budget. I had no money to market. You know, there's a big thing on social media right now, trending, that the best way to get involved in real estate is wholesaling because it doesn't require you any money. And although that's true, you still need to have a marketing budget. The most successful wholesalers I know, they're spending 5 figures monthly or more on their marketing budget. 5 figures or more on their marketing budget every single month. You need a way to drive those leads in. Yes, you could close a deal here, close a deal there, but now you're just doing it as a hobby. When you want to replace your income, when you want to do this full time, you have to take it serious as a real business. So you're going to need capital. You're going to need working capital for marketing and for admin, for other things. Virtual staffing, hiring VAs, look presentable online, your website, your phone, all of that. And all of that ties in to your business credit too. Your business funding, you have to be able to look right on paper. You have to have the structure right. And we're going to go over all of that. So please make sure you guys are taking really, really, really good notes, because I'm going to go over everything you need and things that can actually stop you in your tracks from getting business credit, and other little things, other little nuances that are like, this is the difference between you getting a $2,000 credit card for your business and getting an $80,000 credit card for your business. Or a difference between getting a $200,000 line of credit, like I have with Wells Fargo, or you getting, $5,000-$10,000 line. So we're going to discuss all of these on how you can maximize exactly what you need to do. So again, first step is your personal credit, right? You got to get that in order. And personal credit is all about habits. All credit is about habits. So you need to get that in order. Then when it comes to business credit, it's bank compliance. You got to be compliant on paper. We'll discuss that. And then you just go for the funding. And then we're going to discuss how to liquidate your cards and deploying the capital to do deals. I'm going to show you exactly how I take down deals using credit cards, using business lines of credit, things of that nature, unsecured. So the difference is that with a hard money loan or even private money loans, unless you did as a promissory note, which I don't recommend, it's backed by a deed of trust, right? And so because it's backed by a deed of trust, it's collateralized, meaning you screw up, you don't pay, they foreclose on you, they take the property. Well, it's a little harder with this type of credit to acquire it, because now there's no recourse for them. If I take a credit card and I max it out, say I got a $50,000 card and I max it out and then I never pay, the bank's out 50 grand, right? So they got to make sure that, hey, whoever I give this money to, they're going to do the right thing with it. And it's better that way, because now if I got a deal, so say for example, a deal the other day popped up, and the difference is I got the money in my pocket. I got the credit card in my pocket. I can convert that to cash, and we have ways to do that that are not that expensive. A lot of people, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking of cash advances, things like that. I never do a cash advance with my cars. That is one way to pull the money off your cars. I never do that. And so we're going to talk a lot about the strategic ways I do it and what I call credit kung fu. But first, let's dive into your personal credit profile, okay? Because that's very important. Because right now, here's the thing. You're going to have to personally guarantee the debt unless you can show the banks that your business has been in business for 2 years or more and you have a gross revenue of $2 million, then you could go for corporate credit. So there's a difference between business credit, corporate credit. That's corporate credit, where it's based strictly on a business. And it's more to that too. You got to have, your business has to be in compliance, and you also have to have a certain amount of trade lines and a certain amount of debt reporting to the business bureaus in order to qualify for that unsecured corporate credit that doesn't require any personal guarantee. Now, we're going to discuss, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people on here that are looking to get involved in real estate. They may be new, and I want to cater to those people. And a lot of our seasoned investors, you guys are going to learn something too. Just like Anish said, Anish is a seasoned investor. And just like he said, when we started talking, the stuff that I was telling him was just so deep that it was just, he was blown away. He was really blown away, because no matter how seasoned you are, you can use these strategies in your business. Now, why do you need to have your personal credit intact? Well, the way I like to explain it with a lot of people, it's no different than your child going to the car lot. They see that nice new car they want. Let's say they want, say they want that new BMW. You know, they go to the Beamer lot. They want that nice new BMW, and now they're like, okay, I want to finance it. Now, they go run their credit, and they say, look, you don't have any credit profile. You're young, you're new, you need a cosigner. So what do? They call me, Daddy, I need you to co-sign. Not my daughter, because I put my daughter in position when she was 13, she was already building credit. Yes, you can start building your children's credit at that tender age of 13. At 13, I was already adding credit cards in the name. By the time she was 18, she went to the lot, picked out the car of her choice, and pulled it off the lot. I think she did zero down too, no money down, got a loan from the credit union at an ultra cheap rate at the time. And she was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But that's because I put her in position. Most people are not like that. So when they get to the lot, it's Daddy, I need you to co-sign. So basically, it's like your business is like that child. Your business has no profile yet. Your business, everything's not set up right. So when the banks look at it, they're like, the way they're looking at it is like, they're looking at their risk. They're like, okay, this is a risk. We could give them this money, but they might fail. The business might fail. They might not pay us back. Well, let's take a look at the person that's running that business. Let's see how they look. Let's see how they look on paper, how they do with their bills. Then we can help them. So they're going to look at your personal credit because now they're going to say, okay, he's a stand-up guy. He takes care of his bills. He pays on time. He doesn't use a lot of his credit. He keeps his utilization low. Who here knows that, drop it in the chat if you know that when you max out your personal cards and then you go pay it down, a lot of credit cards will actually drop your limit down. Say you got a $30,000 card and you ran it up to about $25,000. Maybe you're doing it for a deal or something. Then you go pay it. They're going to drop that down to say 3,000. Say you pay it down to 2,500. So you had a 10% utilization. They're going to drop your limit down to $3,000. Ask me how I know. I've been there and done that. And this is the importance of business credit. It never reports to your personal credit. Never reports to your personal credit. It only reports to the business, except for there is certain cards that will report to your personal, like Capital One. So Capital One, stay away from them, or you can use them, but just keep your utilization low because it will report to your personal credit. Now with business credit on the side, utilization matters, but you just got to keep it at 70%, and you can still apply for more funding. Versus a personal. It has to be 10 to 30%. 30% is like a C student, 10% is like an A student. So you want to look really good, you get it down to 10%. Well, what the heck? You got a $10,000 card. You mean you can't spend more than $1,000 at a time on it? How are you ever going to utilize that money? You see? So it's very, very important that you get to business credit. So let's talk about the things that make up your personal credit score. So I'm going to touch briefly on personal credit again, because it's very, very, very important to put yourself in position for business funding. So you notice that the biggest percentage of your FICO score, and these are what we call the 5 FICO factors. The biggest percentage of your FICO score is your payment history. 35% of your score is your payment history. So you never want to miss a payment, ever, 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 ever. Write that down. I will never, ever, 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 ever miss a payment. Okay? I often tell people, I'd rather your bank account go negative than you miss a payment. Because if your bank account goes negative, you get hit with an insufficient funds overdraft fee. Next week, maybe you get paid again. You put some money in your account, you're back to normal. But when you miss a payment on your personal credit, that's on your personal credit for 2 years. 2 years, you're scarred. 2 years. And it's one of the hardest things to correct when we're working, because I also own a credit repair company. It's one of the hardest things when people are working with us. We get it done. It's very hard. Very, very hard. So you never want to miss a payment. And a lot of people don't realize it. If you're facing challenging times, money ebbs and flows. Sometimes we face challenging times. As long as you have been in good standing in the past 90 days, every 90 days, most creditors, I'm not saying all creditors do this, most creditors, every 90 days, they will allow you to do a skip pay. They're going to charge you a small fee for it, $25, $30, and they'll put that payment on the back end. They'll defer it to the back end of your loan, but you're allowed to miss a payment. Whether it's an installment loan or a revolving credit card account, you can do that. You just got to call them. So it's all about communication, letting people know your situation. Now, next biggest thing is amounts owed. 30% is your amounts owed. That's your utilization. That's what I was just talking about as far as your utilization. Again, you never want to go over 30%. 10% is where you want to be. That's where you want to be. That's the golden child. 30% will get you by, but 10% right now, after COVID, it was 10%, you know. And so then you got the length of your history is 15%. So you never want to cancel any of those old cards. So some of my starter cards that when I started repairing my credit were secured cards. They were secured cards. I had to give them $300, and then they gave me a $300 limit. And guess what? Every single month they charge me a fee. I think it's like $7 or $8 every single month. They pay me a fee. I don't even use them. There's a zero balance on them, and every month I have to pay that fee. And if I miss a payment on that fee, I'll get a late pay reported to my credit, right? Because they're starter cards. They're like not the best cards. Yet I don't close those accounts. I keep those accounts open because they're the longest, oldest, most aged accounts that I have on my profile. So the longer your credit history is, the better. Now we'll talk about trade lines later where you can get added to people's accounts and things like that. And that will give you a lengthier credit profile. And we help people do that all the time, except there's rules to that. So you can't just not have a credit profile and like have no credit and then go get some trade lines. Your score will not jump. For every trade line, or which is basically industry term for authorized user account, for every authorized user account that you're a part of, and we could put you on authorized. I've once put people on a $95,000 authorized user account, and all of them are at 10% utilization. When we put you on one of those accounts, now that's going to start reporting, but you want to have at least 2 primary accounts for it to be really effective for your credit score. So a gentleman came to me last month and he said, hey, you know, I need to buy this building and the lender's running my credit. They said I need to get my credit up to this much. I think it was, he needed to get it like right in the low 7s or something like that to get the rate he wanted. And he was at like a 620. He said, what can we do? I said, let me see your credit profile. I look at his credit profile and I see that he has a couple revolving accounts that are his primary accounts. And I realized that, you know, they wasn't that old. And so maybe if we could age this profile a little bit by adding these trade lines, he'll be good, and higher limits too. So we added him 2 trade lines that were a little bit older. They dated back, I think those ones dated back to 2016 or something like that. And then we raised the we got his trade lines to raise what his revolving limits are on his credit profile as a whole. And so those trade lines were, I think one was 30, the other one was 35,000. Within a month after it reported, his score jumped exactly to where it needed to be. So this is the power of the length of your credit history. Now, new credit is good, but it could be bad too. So you got to be very careful when you're applying for a lot of new credit. So when you apply, you get new credit and then you got to let it cool off, you know? So you want to make sure every 4 months you're applying for new credit. You got to let it cool off a little bit, then go again. But if you keep trying to apply every single month, you can have a great credit score, you will get denied. Okay, so it's very important. And then we got your credit mix. Now with your credit mix, that's the mixture of the profile as a whole. So there's people that come to me who have over a 700 FICO and still get denied for credit. I said, let me look at your report. And that's why, the credit mix. They might have a few credit cards that are doing the right thing, keeping the utilization down, they're paying on time, they're fine. But when it comes to other accounts, installment accounts, for example, an installment account is a personal loan, an installment account is your car loan, any kind of loan where you make installment payments on it. So revolving line is the money go out and money come back, money go out, come back. So basically it keeps revolving. So it's a revolving account. And so, you know, you have to have a good mix. You want to have a good profile as a whole. Now, again, the minimum qualifications for your personal credit, in order for you to get business funding, and this is so, say if you started a business, you could start a business today, right? In 30 days, we could get you funding as long as your personal credit is intact. And these are the qualifications. No new accounts in the last 4 months. So again, you want to let it smoke clear. You want to let it cool down. You don't want no collections or derogatory accounts. 30% or less, 10% is preferred. You want no late payments past 2 years. We just talked about that. You want minimal hard increase over the past 12 to 24 months. So if you have a lot of hard inquiries, what a hard inquiry is basically somebody runs your credit. When you're applying for credit and they run your credit. So you have soft inquiries and hard inquiries. Soft inquiries don't show up on your credit report. Hard inquiries do. The worst is the dealerships. You never, when you're going for a car, always go to a credit union. Everybody here should be a member of their local credit union in the community. They have the best rates. They'll always give you the best rates, and they'll pull your credit and it's good for 90 days. You'll go to the dealership, they'll run your credit 12, 15 times sometimes. And that'll tank your score. That'll make your score drop. So you don't want too many hard inquiries. And in fact, when people go through our program to acquire business funding, after we get them the business funding, they come back through and we clear those inquiries up because we want all those inquiries removed so we could go back and get more funding. Now, how do we get it removed? Well, those inquiries are for your business, not for you. You see what I'm saying? They're pulling your credit, but that inquiries for your business. So it's grounds for deletion. So you can get those deleted. Really simple, really simple. And again, no late pays. And you want a 680 FICO or better. I prefer for you to have a 700 FICO score to get business funding. Now, steps to get in position is monitor your credit. Everybody should have a credit monitoring software on your phone or somewhere where you can log in on your computer. And I'm not talking about Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a joke. Credit Karma is actually an affiliate marketing company. For one, they don't give you all 3 bureaus. It's free for a reason. They're just throwing offers in your face, and it's a joke. You'll see on Credit Karma that you're 700. Go down to the dealership. Let's talk about that dealership again. Go down to that dealership, apply for that loan, and the dealership come back and say, "Man, you're a 610." And now my Credit Karma says this. They're gonna laugh at you. They're like, "Yeah, we don't go off Credit Karma." Okay, My FICO is a good one. One that we use in our system is Identity IQ. Identity IQ is a good one. You want to look at your credit report. You want to dispute inaccurate information. So here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that there's laws that these credit bureaus have to abide by. You got the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and then there's bureau. You got the Federal Trade Commission that they have to abide by their rules. They have to abide by the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau rules. And because of all of this stuff, everything has to be reporting a certain way. So you can have some negative items on your credit report. Maybe you had some challenging times in the past, and it could really be yours. A lot of people, they would just dispute and say, it's not mine, it's fraud. Then they'll prove to you, no, it's not fraud, it's yours, and here's how it's yours, and prove it to you. And then now you're stuck, and it's stuck on your report, right? That's why we don't do that. We look for discrepancies and inaccuracies on the way it's reported. If the date is wrong on the date that the account was open or the date the account was closed, grounds for deletion. If the debt amount is off by 1 penny, grounds for deletion. If you had late pays and charges went to collections and it was the wrong date, so we dig into all that, find out, okay, show us when it got charged off. Show us when this person finally started paying late. All of that, because that's all grounds for deletion. So you want to look into it and disputing inaccuracies, and it's time consuming. So I would suggest seeking out a credit repair specialist to help you do that. Again, you can add trade lines, become an authorized user. That'll help. And you just got to get some primary accounts. You want to make sure that your primary accounts that you have, your credit cards on your personal, is at least a 5K or higher limit. To do that, it's going to make sure you get a higher limit with your business. And again, your business never reports to your personal. So you can max those cards out, do what you need to do with them, and bring it back. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, well, what about the interest rates and all that? Well, we always shoot to get 0% interest for the first 12 to 18 months. When that's starting to run out, we seek out more cards 12 months later. Then we transfer that balance to those new cards. You see what I'm saying? And even when I have to utilize, like recently, I just did a deal and I had to utilize all of my capital, all of my credit cards, everything that I had going on. When I do those deals, some of those interest rates were at 24% interest rate. Well, later on in the slides, I'm going to show you the difference of using like a private money lender, say at 12% interest versus using the credit cards at that rate. It really doesn't shift much because you got to think when you're paying only the minimum payment due. So we're not paying large payments every single month, like they're large amounts on it, like, so say if it's 100K, I'm not going to, drop large amounts, but I'm going to pay, usually your minimum payment due is 1 to 3% of whatever the balance is. Now, here's the key. When you're running your numbers on your deals, you factor all of that in. So very important. Now, for those of you that are renting, you can use a app that will report your rent just like a mortgage. Boom Pay is one of them. And you want to make sure that you get them to report the backdated rent as well. So it gives you some how do you say it, some history there, so that way it looks like it's been reporting for a long time. That will actually help boost your score. So it's a great strategy. Great strategy, So now let's talk about business credit. Before we jump in, let me just check the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, let's see. Do we got any questions? Do we have any questions? If we have any questions, Alexa and Nish, just blur them out for me. Because it's hard for me to see with the slides. Just blur them out. But I want to make sure everybody's okay. If everybody's okay, give a thumbs up in the chat, or just give a yes or a Y or something in the chat. Let me know you're okay and you're still connected with me here.
Yep, you're good so far, David. No questions in the Q&A yet.
Okay, cool. All right. So now when it comes to business credit, again, your credit score is crucial, and business credit, and we're talking about the business credit score. Business credit, it doesn't range like personal credit. So like with personal credit, it goes from the 3s to the 8s. Well, business credit is typically 0 to 100, depending on the credit bureau. So they all have different scoring marks. So the main one is Dun & Bradstreet. That's probably one that everybody's heard of. Is Dun & Bradstreet, where they have a PAYDEX score. And 80 is considered to be like an awesome score. Although I can get you funding with a 70 PAYDEX score, no problem. And I can get you funding without you even having your Dun & Bradstreet score. In fact, I will help you get that. Get your DUNS number. That's what they call it. It's called your DUNS number, and that's your credit profile with Dun & Bradstreet. It's not a big deal. A lot of people make a big deal about it, but it's better to build out your business first, get some trade lines reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, and then using the banks that run through them. See, not all banks are going to check your profile through Dun & Bradstreet. Some are going to check it through Experian. Experian is actually one of the most lenient bureaus to get business funding through. And then you have Equifax Business, which is also the same as the Small Business Financial Exchange. And there are certain rules, regulations, and guidelines too as well. So let's see, things you should know about business credit. We talked about, personal credit and the guarantees, cash value versus non-cash value. So this is what I'm talking about when I said trade lines added to your Dun & Bradstreet profile. So you got something like, for example, net 30 accounts. Net 30 accounts are good to build your profile out, yet they're not good for business credit, right? Because with business credit, you can't use it. It's not cash. It's like what a net 30 account is. You have 30 days to pay that account, and you want to pay it within 15 by day 15. By net 15 is what we call it. You want to pay it on like the 14th day. That's when you want to pay your net 30 account. But it's going to be something for like Uline or Quill or Office Depot or Home Depot. Actually, my Home Depot net 30, I use that a lot. I just have the contractors go there and they call me when they're checkout, and we pay for everything. And we use my net 30, and I got 30 days to pay that. But now these trade lines are starting to report, and that's how you get your DUNS number. So if you call Dun & Bradstreet, they'll say you got to pay for your DUNS number and all of that. No, you get these trade lines. The trade lines will start automatically reporting, and you will automatically get a DUNS number for your business and start building credit with that profile. So they're good to have to build the profile, but they don't have no cash value. You can't get any cash out of them. The only ones I use is my Home Depot. I used to use Chevron. I don't even use that anymore. I'd rather use my American Express at the pump because I earn points, so I could travel and all of that stuff. So very important. Now, I've been hearing a lot of talk about shelf corporations and things like that. They don't really work anymore. I would stay away from those. And now I'm sure you guys as investors know, because we always open up multiple LLCs, FinCEN is the Financial Crimes Enforcement with the Secret Service. They just passed a law. Now you got to reveal all the owners of every single LLC, because I usually have multiple LLCs, and I would just use them like shelf corporations just to build out the business credit. Now, a lot of people, when I'm talking about shelf corporations here, they'll buy an age profile. And an age shelf corporation, meaning that business has already been in business for 2 years and has an age profile. That's cool. But if that business hasn't started a bank account yet, that profile hasn't even started. The clock starts ticking when you open your bank account. So that's one thing. And the next thing is you got to make sure that whoever set it up properly, that everything's in compliance, or you won't get any credit. So I stay away from them. I don't really mess with them. I know how to get a lot of credit just from start. I'm sorry, I see Giuliani, you had your hand up. Do you want to ask a question? Okay, I'll take a few questions and then we'll continue.
Yeah, David, I'll go ahead and read one out. Julian, you got to put the question actually in the Q&A. So Mark's asking, how can you report car payments made by check personally?
That's a great question. How can you report car payments made by check personally? So if you make your if you make so I'm making sure I understand the question, right? And just type it in if it's yes or no. So if I understand the question right, you took out a loan, but now you're making the payments via check, or you bought the car with your own money and it's a check. Because if you bought the car with your own money and it's a check, you can't really report that to your credit, right? But if it's you're making the payments with a check, the bank should be reporting it every time you make a payment.
Okay. Yep. And Julian
Your
didn't.
daughter's financing with you personally. You
Yep.
know what? That's a great question. And I can honestly say, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how you could get that reported. And I'm going to find out and I'm going to let Anish know and I'm going to let you know. I've never even thought about doing that, but that is a great idea. I like that. See, this is what happens when real estate investors get together. That's a great idea. You know, one thing I think you might have to just put a lien against the car if you haven't already did that. And then there's a way you could show that proof to the credit bureaus, but I wouldn't know the process of actually getting them to report. I'm sure there's something out there to do that. So I'm gonna look into that for you. Thank you for asking that question. Great question.
Yep. We're good for a little bit, so I'll let you keep going. And again, if you guys could help us out, make sure you put your questions in the Q&A and we'll try to get to them. So thank you.
Yeah, let's drop them in the Q&A. All right, let's get to the next slide. All right, so again, influencing factors is your payment history. You don't want to miss payments with your business. That's very bad. You don't want to get what's called a UC on your business, which is basically a cautionary on your business. And you got to be careful too. A lot of people go for loans and things like that with their business, and they'll get a UC on their business, which makes it very hard for you to get more business credit. In fact, the SBA does that. They did that too with all that money they were giving out during COVID. The what do you call it? The EIDL loans. A lot of people didn't know they had to not only personally guarantee it, but they also had to put a UC against their business. And so that really affected their businesses now when they're going to try to get more funding and things like that. So very, very important that you pay your bills on time. Now, again, utilization matters, but you're allowed to have a higher utilization because with businesses, with creditors, they understand that businesses use credit to propel their business forward, right? So they know and understand, unlike personal credit, you can start using your personal credit for your business and you're running it up and you're racking up the charges. And all they're going to do is lower your credit score and they're going to lower your limits eventually. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them will lower. In fact, I have so many credit cards, business and personal. I have a spreadsheet that I have to keep track of everything. I have an Excel spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, I got a couple of cards that are highlighted in red. Those are the ones that let me know if I pull from this line, they could potentially drop my limit down. So be careful. So I only pull from that line when I really, really need it. You know, so that's something to keep in mind. But with the business, they know and understand you use that money for your marketing, you use it for your inventory, you use it to keep the business afloat. And so at 70% utilization, you can still apply and get approved for more funding, you know, and it really don't start hurting your score till you're up till you're about like 90% utilization, which is insane that they allow you to do that. And then you pay that off. And instead, so when you do that on your personal credit, you pay it off, what happens? They give you a spanking and they lower your limit. When you pay it off with your business, what happens? They reward you. They say, great job, and they raise your credit limit. It's crazy, but that's the way it works. You know, so again, you don't want to have any public records, any judgments or anything like that. You know, and they do assess the company size and industry risks. Very important, your industry risks. There's certain risks that are deemed, there's certain businesses that are deemed high risk. Real estate is one of them, actually, when it comes to unsecured business funding. Real estate is one of them, so be very careful. In fact, when I go for business credit, the way I structure my businesses, the way everything's in position, I go for business funding under a business management company. Business management and consulting is one of the lowest risk sectors you could be in, right? Now that company owns the real estate companies that take down the real estate. You don't have to be real estate, especially real estate development. They say that's gambling. They say that's really high risk. That's the way the banks look at it. The only low risk category that you could put down that has anything to do with real estate is property management. And so we're talking about the NAICS code and the SIC codes, right? And so when you go into the bank to open your bank account, and they start asking you a series of questions, that's why they're asking you. they're not asking you because they're interested in your business. They're asking to know what category they'll put you in. So like, when I got done with my first boot camp and I'm all excited, I'm getting ready to flip properties, and I go into the bank to open my bank account. And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Man, I'm going to start flipping properties and beautify the neighborhood and this and that." I'm just all excited. And they're just punching it all in. And next thing you know, they're like, at the end of it, they're like, "You want to apply for a credit card?" I'm like, "Yeah, I should be able to, because I already knew about the business." Flag, boom, denied. Why? And I realized why later. And I started learning this. Restaurants are high-risk businesses. Believe it or not, dry cleaners is considered a high-risk business. Anything that deals in the cannabis industry, there's certain states where it's legal. Like I live in California, cannabis is legal in California. That's an ultra high-risk business to the banks. They actually don't like it because it's still legal federally. So, you got to know how, and that's what I'm saying about putting your business in compliance. You got to know how to put your business in compliance. So you want to, everything is just habits and it's common sense. You want to pay your bills on time, manage utilization, build your credit, monitor your credit, and limit those credit increase. Now let's talk about putting your business in compliance, right? So number one is the legal structure. You got to pick out the entity. Now I can't tell you which one to do. That's something you want to talk with a tax strategist about, and they'll determine what's the best route depending on your business. But remember, the clock does not start ticking till you get your business bank account. So there's people I know that have they had this idea of getting a business and they'll go get an LLC from LegalZoom. And then they don't do anything with their business. They get caught up with life, things like that. And they're like, "Yeah, I had this business for 2 years." All right. When did you open the bank account? What was the date you opened the bank account? Well, actually, I didn't never open a bank account. Then you don't have a business. You really don't have a business. According to the creditors and the banks, the credit bureaus, you don't have a business. You have nothing. So that's a big thing. Your clock starts ticking when you open your business account. Your address is very, very important. Your physical address. Now, a lot of us, we're real estate investors, we're entrepreneurs. We work off a laptop and a cell phone. So we want to use something like a P.O. box. No. Or we use our home address. Even a bigger no. There's more reasons in business credit why you shouldn't be using your home address. You don't want anybody popping up at your door. But we used to use, and it used to work for business credit, we used to use the UPS store address, right? But now with Google Maps and everything, the underwriter is going to punch that in, see it's a UPS store address, and you're going to get flagged that this is a fly-by-night type of business, right? So you want a brick and mortar location for your business address. Okay, well, what about virtual addresses, Dave? Yes, virtual addresses works, except for one exception. It has to be the right virtual address. You see some virtual addresses, all it is there is a mail drop. So it's in a building. If they Google map it, they're going to see that it's in an office building. So office building's going to pop up. I'm like, okay, and then they're going to dig a little further. And then they're going to realize that, and there's other people tried to do the same thing with that same address, and they're already red flagged. So they flagged that virtual address. It actually happened to me. It was a virtual address on California Street in San Francisco, and it got flagged because it was just a mail drop. So they gave me this address. I could put it on my business card. I could make me look all professional. I could tell people this is where I do business. But if I ever had to meet a client there, I could not meet a client there. So because of that, it was a mail drop. It was flagged as a mail drop. Well, actually, this one was flagged as a mail drop with Dun & Bradstreet, and I got red flagged, and I couldn't get funding for that business. Okay, so that's very important, the right virtual address. So how do you check if it's the right virtual address? Well, for one, you want to check to make sure there's other businesses that are there, brick and mortar type businesses that are there. Usually with virtual addresses, the brick and mortar businesses are the ones like accounting firms, law firms, things like that. They will have an address there. So if you Google that, the best way to find out is Google that address, see what other businesses come up. Then go there. When you go there and check it out, say, "Hey, if I need to meet a client, can I rent out space?" Yes. "Are there any other businesses here that are here full time?" Yes, we got this so-and-so law firm over there in that back end there. They have that whole section, those 4 offices plus that conference room, then okay, you're in the right spot. If they don't have that, it's the wrong virtual address. Now also, again, your presence, website, social media presence. And this would be a given, even with your marketing with real estate. Some of you guys, maybe just flippers buying straight from wholesalers, so you don't really need a big presence and things like that, but you want to have that, something that just recently happened to me this week. I got a deal on the contract, and I used the old LLC that I haven't used in a while. And I forgot that I canceled a lot of the stuff that I was using, like the Carrot website and different things I was using for it. And so then one of the sellers, it was a brother and sister, she says, it seems like a scam. I checked the number and I forgot I canceled that number too. I had a vanity because I was strictly using it for marketing, just to get lead flowing. And then the marketing kind of slowed down, wasn't working that good. So I cut it off and I'm doing other things for marketing. And, but then I used it on the paper just to write up the contract real quick. And she said, "Oh, this seemed like a scam." And I had to tell her, like, wait a second, just Google my name. Just put my name. Just put David Selvin in Google, and everything you need to know about me will pop up. I said, I haven't used this. I use this for marketing. I explained everything. And she was like, okay. And she signed the contract. Now, if I didn't have any other web presence with my other businesses, I would have been screwed. That's why I told her Google my name, because all my other businesses would pop up. And so, it's very important to have that presence. It shouldn't be, davidselvin@gmail.com. No. Or better yet, selvinfinancial@gmail.com. No, that's very unprofessional. It should be, this is like a no-brainer, yet it goes over a lot of people's heads. It should be davidselvin@selvinfinancial.com, or something like that, of that nature. I have a guy that I worked with that I helped get business credit. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. This gentleman builds some of the most exquisite, most nicest homes I've ever seen, ground up new construction. He's building multi-million-dollar mansions. He's building one right now that's 20,000 square feet. He travels all around the world, seeing, like, he'll go to Abu Dhabi, see what they're using for their high-end new construction, and he'll find that tile and get it shipped. And like, this guy, he does I don't know anybody else that does a job, does a flip. My flips don't come out. My flips are good, but this is what I do. I go and I look for so when we do flips, and so recently we did a flip in a high-end neighborhood, and we look at what the ARV comps are looking like, right? Okay, this is how I need to make this look, because this is what's selling quickly and selling for top dollar. I'm gonna make my place look like this. The only difference is I'm not going to get the light fixture from WilliamsSonoma.com, where maybe they went and got it. I'm gonna get the exact one that looks like that off of Amazon a whole lot cheaper, because based on my experience of what I've done in flipping, it always worked that way, where no matter if I spent just maybe $150 for that light fixture, or spent $1,000 for that light fixture, or 2,000, 3, whatever it is, it didn't make a difference in my sales price. So why waste money? Where he's on the other end, he's working with a lot of celebrities. He's doing a house for one of the housewives and all of that. So he does all that super high-end expensive stuff. I take a look at his business credit, and I'm like, okay, this is why you're not getting approved. I'm like, dude, you got your home address as your business address. Your phone number is your cell phone. Like, what are you doing with your cell phone? He has a billboard off the freeway in Atlanta, off 85 Interstate, with his picture and his cell phone and a couple of the houses on there. And I'm like, no, this is not going to work. So we had to restructure all of that, because from his standpoint, he's like, man, Dave, I work out of my truck. I'm in my pickup truck all day, going by job sites. He has multiple jobs going in a day. So he wakes up, he goes around job sites, maybe meets with some private money, meets with some bankers, goes home, and that's the end of his day. So he's like, I'm in my truck all day long. I don't want to have an office. I said, no, this is how you can structure this, where you can still work from home. I enjoy working from home too. I love being around my family. So yeah, I'm structured. Like, I have a brick and mortar office. Yeah, I work from home. And I suggest everybody else to do the same, because it's fun being able to stay home with your family. Love it. I love it. And then, of course, whatever business you're in, you got to have a proper licensing and things like that. Some creditors will check that. And a business plan, you don't have to really worry about that too much. That's more so, when you're going for corporate credit. They're going to want to see your financials, business plan. And I'm explaining why in a second, right? So you have stated income. Most banks, like if you go on Chase.com right now, everybody who's on here, open up another tab, go to Chase.com, go apply for business credit, go to apply for their Sapphire card or Chase Inc., whatever it is they're offering. And when you scroll down, just scroll down, don't enter your information in there, but scroll down to where it says income, and you'll see exactly what it says. How much revenue is your business currently making or projected to make by the end of the year? So you could go off projected earnings, and they're not going to ask you for any bank statements. It's just whatever you feel is right for your business. That's stated income. And mostly all unsecured credit goes by stated income. Now, when you're talking about secure credit or like those equipment loans and things like that, that's different. They don't want to see profit and loss. They want to see your bank statements and business plans and all of that stuff. So very important to know the difference. Now, again, It's a warning here because applying for business funding is not a straightforward process. So it sounds easy. Yeah, when you do it, it can get really tedious. So I would suggest seeking out somebody who's like super qualified to help you do this. Um, sometimes when we apply for business credit, I'm gonna give you a little strategy, for example, because every time you apply, you're getting hit with a hard inquiry. So if I apply for a card today, then tomorrow I apply for another card, what's gonna happen? Now the second card is gonna see the first card's increase, and so on and so forth. This is a strategy we utilize, give you guys some good game. We open up a bunch of tabs, each credit on each tab, and we apply for all of the credit at the same time. When we click submit application, we submit it all at the same time. So I'll have 10 tabs open, submit, 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 submit. And we also check to make sure we know which ones report to which bureaus. So they're pulling a hard inquiry from your personal. We don't care about the business or what they're checking on the business. We care about the personal because that's going to ding your personal score, and we don't want that. So now with the personal, here's the thing: is you want the you want to know if this applying to Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax. So you might be able to apply for these three over here with Experian, these three with TransUnion, these three with Equifax. Now you just was able to apply for 9 credit cards all at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So very important to be strategic. Be strategic on how you do this. Now, I've seen a lot of people get their application denied for misspellings. A lot of this was happening with my wife. So her name spelled differently on a birth certificate than it is on Social Security. So she was spelling her name one way. Then when they were checking everything, she kept getting denied. We kept saying, why is she getting denied? Why is she getting denied? And finally, we checked everything. We pulled all her credit reports. We pulled her LexisNexis report. I know this now. A lot of you guys don't know about LexisNexis. That's like a secret credit bureau. A lot of insurance companies check that. Even mortgage brokers are now checking that. I have a student that's in my cash-free real estate program, flipping houses. And when she went for a hard money loan, they was checking her LexisNexis report. Kiave, the lender was Kiave, was checking her Lexis, which is a big lender. They're checking the LexisNexis report. So a lot of people check that. So you want to pull that and see the accuracy on that report and correct any errors in that. Another thing is a lot of people, they put down really low income. Like they think, oh, I'm just going to make 30, this, and they don't know. Or because there's a new business, they'll put down 0 or maybe 5 or 10, whatever they just made. They might have made a $5,000 on sale, maybe made 10,000 at wholesale fee or something, and they'll put that down. That will get you denied. Remember, you can go off projected income. What do you feel you're going to make? Remember that book, if you haven't read it, read it. The Magic Power of Thinking Big. Think big, okay? Think big. Let me check this chat, make sure we good here. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Oops. All right. So now we talked about credit card stacking. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And, that's pretty much what you're going to do. And we take these cards. Let me show you exactly. We talked about all of this stuff, collateral, debt to income, repayment terms. You want to understand all of this stuff, but don't get caught up with this stuff. Get caught up about the money that you're going to make. Now, let's talk about how we turn the credit to cash, how we turn it from plastic to paper. That's very important. Because here's the thing, when you're buying a house, you can't just go to the title company like, send me an invoice, or walk into the title company or the attorney's office for whatever state you're in and say, okay, swipe my card. Don't work like that. So we use clearinghouse companies to liquidate our costs. So what we used to do in the old days, and this is a gray area, is one person owns a business. Like my wife had her business, I have my business. She sends me an invoice, I swipe it into her business, and she get the cash, and I swipe hers into my business. I get her cash, and we wire it back and forth. The challenge with that is an accounting challenge with that, because now it looks like income, right? So to just beat all of that, see, back then, the fees that these clearinghouse companies were charging was anywhere between 6 and 15%. So you got to look at it, that's like points on a loan. That's like paying 6 to 15% points on a loan. Whereas if we did it that way, we're paying 3% on a loan just in credit card processing fees. Now, I don't know what their processing fees are now, but you have places like Plastic. Write that down, Plastic. And I think I got Plastic on one of these slides. There you go. You got places like Plastic, where Plastic will actually liquidate your car for you. You could pay anybody. You could pay yourself. You could pay a contractor. You can pay anybody you need as long as they set up an invoice in there in plastic. And you liquidate your card through that way. They charge you roughly about a 3% fee. And so when I factor in and I'm running my numbers, we look at it as that 3% is just paying points on the loan. That's the way I look at it. And all of that is factored in. All of that's factored in. So let's talk about, private money versus business fund. So with private money, I've missed out on opportunities behind private money. I've had, and I still use a lot of private money. Let's not get that wrong. Private money is a great source of money, right? But I had deals where it was just moving too quick and my lenders maybe need a little time. I call one lender, I need to think about it. Call another lender, hey, I'm out of the country till next month. Call another lender, you know what? I got to talk it over with my wife. Call another lender, and he's like, I'll get to it. And then 2 days go by. Hey, did you take a, no, I haven't even looked at it yet. Dragging his feet, so when you deal with stuff like that, then finally got the lender say, hey, I'm going to give you the money for this deal. And I call the host. This deal was actually with a wholesaler when this happened. I called the wholesaler, hey, Brandon, can I get the deal? Man, that's gone. That been gone. That was gone 3 days ago. Oh man, missed out on the deal. I dealt with headaches with them. I've had people beg me to take their money and invest it in real estate. Then I invest their money, and then every single week, how we looking? Bro, we're still doing demo. What are you talking about? How we looking? We're still in the demo phase. Why are you calling me? And I understand, it's their money. So I got to be polite and I got to be cordial. But in my head, this is what's going in my head. Like, why are you calling me a week after we close? You're not going to get paid back a week later. That's not how this works. So it's a little frustrating enough to make you shave your head. And so also it was like lack of control in certain situations. And I'm more so talking about when I did an equity split with some people. So, with private money, you could do a debt, you could do a debt or equity split. So with debt, basically you're adding them as like on the deed of trust, basically they could foreclose on you. Or equity, with the equity split, basically they get a percentage, they get a piece of the pie. You guys are business partners. Now they don't understand real estate. They want to do all kind of other things with it. And it just doesn't work that way always with me. So you got to be the right person that you work with. Whereas business funding, I have the credit cards in my pocket. I can move as fast as I could wire that money, as fast as I could swipe that card into plastic and move that money within hours is there, or at least by the next day, next morning is there, ready to go, done. It's a straightforward process and I have complete control. So let's take a look at this deal. This is a deal that I did where I made, this is that same deal actually with that check that I showed you earlier, with 291,000 is what we made. We actually thought we was going to make 250,000, right? That's what we were projecting with a private money lender. So what we ended up doing, excuse me. So what we ended up doing is 10% came from a business line of credit. The 90% of the purchase price came from a hard money lender. So we had him at the hard money lender. Then we had the we had to come in with the 10% down, and I also had to pay for the repairs using my private money, right? I ended up using the business line of credit. Here's why. I was supposed to make 250, yet with business credit, it just dropped to 248. You see what I'm saying? And this is when I calculate my numbers and I factor in the payments on the monthly payments on the cards, monthly payment for hard money. We pull extra money out for all of that. And at the end, we ended up doing better because we ended up making $291,000, a little over $291,000. So we did good on that one. And, I was a little scared because that's right when they started raising the rates and things like that. I was a little worried, but we did really good on that one. Here's one I did a while back that was really exciting. When was this? This was a few months ago. In October. This was in October. I remember this deal. This one was in, I think it was Warrensburg, Missouri. And this one is where I put up $10 earnest money deposit. This was a subject to deal, and I wholesaled it for $19,000. So this is to show you, the structures as far as wholesaling and the different strategies that I teach in my program. So really simple. All I did was I found the seller and I asked her, can you take payments over time? She said, yes, I would love to. In fact, I'm going to lose this house. I'm getting a divorce. I'm 27,000 in arrears. Bring it current. You can have it. Save my credit. You can have it. So I did exactly that. I put up a $10 earnest money deposit. And I think this one's so cool because this was actually like one of the first times I put a deposit that low. I usually always put a lot higher on a deposit. So this was pretty cool for that. So I like that. And we was going to do a rent to own situation. We wasn't getting that much traction for an end buyer and rent to own. So 2 days before the close of escrow, I wholesaled it to another investor. He's happy. He's got a low interest rate. He gave me 19 grand, so I'm happy. And he converted it into a duplex because you can't see it on this angle, but on the back side of the house, it had a huge downstairs that could convert into another unit, had a kitchen and bath in there, and he converted that into a duplex. So he's happy. He's getting some really good cash flow off of it, and he's going to hold it long term. So this was a pretty cool deal. And he walked into instant equity. It was worth 350. I think all in, he was all in at like, I don't know, maybe 280 or something like that. So he's pretty happy. This deal I bought with credit cards here. So I used hard money for the bulk of it, and I used the credit cards to fund the gap. So this one, I remember this deal actually. I remember this deal. And so this one, $14,000 out of my credit card from using my Chase credit card. I had a Chase Sapphire Ink card, 0% interest for the first 12 months. So during that 12-month time, I liquidated the 14 grand I used to get in the deal, used hard money for the rest, and for 100% of the rehab, got through the deal. We thought we was going to sell it for 150 because we're always ultra conservative with our numbers. We end up selling it for 190,000. Multifamily I bought. This one, I believe this one was actually, no, this one is the 6 unit. This one, actually, I'm getting ready to sell this one. And this one's in Milwaukee. So this deal here is in Kansas City, Missouri. This one is in Warrensburg, Missouri. And so I invest all over the United States, and I show people exactly how to do that for the comfort of your home. So this one's in Milwaukee. And what I did is I used hard money loan, and I used the business line of credit to purchase this. I purchased the property. I did a value add. I turned the tenants around, raised the rents up, and then I refinanced it. I was able to pull 66 grand out of it to do it again. My monthly owner draw after all expenses is $5,700 on this one, which is pretty cool. And so, this is what I do. And I got some offers for you guys today that'll really, really, really help you guys, man, to get to the next level. So let me see. Okay, here we go. So my credit and funding package, it's my business success system. What we do is we give you credit repair. So because you gotta have your personal credit intact. So if your personal credit is not already intact, we put you through our credit repair program where it's done for you. We do all the work for you. It's done for you. All you got to do is tell us when you get mail from the credit bureaus and upload that mail to your agent. Your agent will handle everything for you. We also give you credit coaching and coach you as far as the guidelines of personal and business on how to put yourself in the right position. We remove all your inquiries for you after you get the funding, before you get the funding, because we got to remove everything to put you in position. Then after you get the funding, we remove it again so you could go for more funding, go for another round of funding. And in our business funding program, we have on-demand training, over 64 modules that you can do at your pace, at your time. You'll get a live coach that you work with one-on-one every single week that will help you show you exactly what you need to do to put your business in compliance, to put your business in the right way, build that business credit, and then we hand you over to get you the funding. And right now, typically, we usually charge $11,000 for that, plus a 12% succession fee, meaning we charge you 12% on the money that we get you. The most we've ever gotten somebody's 300 grand on one round, 300 grand. So we could get you 300 grand. Typically, average, we usually get people on the first round is 75 to 150,000, depending on the age of their personal credit and how their personal credit's looking. But you guys are we're not gonna pay that today. You guys and this is Peoples, and this is a great friend of mine. Today, it's $5,000 with a 10% succession fee. And by acting today, it's going to save you $6,000. And on top of it, I'm going to give you, for anybody who takes advantage of these opportunities today, I'm going to give you access to my event that's happening in June, a live event where we're going to deep dive into real estate. We're going to deep dive into strategies on how I run my numbers, how I run my numbers on multifamily, how I run my numbers on single family homes, how I do flips, how I do it remotely, how I sit here like I'm in Vegas, I live in California, and how I do this all from my cell phone, and the contractors are working daily and the deals are getting done. That's the hardest thing is managing contractors from afar. When they find out you're out of town, it's a wrap. And I got secrets to that. So you guys will all get a free ticket to my event. It's a $2,000 ticket. You guys will get that for free. Let me talk about my cash-free real estate program. So the on-demand training, you get access to 104 modules where I teach you exactly the mindset of an investor. I teach you how to think outside the box. I show you how to get the money. We also help you with the business funding. We teach you as far as the acquisitions goes, as far as how to run the numbers, how to find the sellers off market, how to get these deals, how to do it remotely, everything that deals with real estate. We also show you how I syndicate deals, how I run numbers on multifamily, how I run my Airbnb portfolio, and also how I wholesale. Everything, you get all of that right now. I usually sell it at 10 grand. You guys today are not going to pay that. You get $5,000 lifetime access. And actually, yes, that 10 grand is only for a year. You get lifetime access. You'll also get weekly coaching calls with that. You'll be able to come on the calls weekly. You'll be able to talk to me weekly. In fact, I'm going to throw that in too, that you guys will also get access to the Facebook group and all of that stuff, man. And, you know, for those that are really, really serious, they need some hand holding. This is not for everybody. And this is for those that I approve. I have to approve you because you're going to be taking up a lot of my time. And when I say that, meaning I'm going to be spending a lot of time with you. So I got to make sure you're not going to waste my time, because my time is my most valuable asset. I make money, I lose money. I make it back. You know, it doesn't matter. I can make it back. My time, if I lose my time, it's gone. It's gone forever. So my time is very, very important to me. Being around my family is very important. So any time away from my family is important to me. And it's a 6-month joint venture program, a mentorship program. And basically, we are going to do a deal together. I'm going to hold your hand, walk you through your first deal. I'm going to get you the business funding. It includes the business success system. It includes the live coach on business funding. I'm your live coach on real estate. And it includes the credit repair. And we waive the succession fee as far as your first round on the business funding. All of that included. I usually don't waive the succession fee, but for Anish, right now, I'll be willing to waive that succession fee, and you'll be access to group coaching as well. And you'll get my personal number where we could talk at any time, every day. I actually seen, one of my mentees on here say hi, and they'll tell you, they text me at 7 a.m. I'm responding at 7:30. They call me at 8 o'clock at night. I'm taking the call. That's just what I do, you know. And sometimes it pisses my wife off. Yeah, that's what I do. I have to pour into people because I want to see people win. And it's just a deposit. So it's not for the faint of heart. It is a little pricey. So usually we charge $50,000. Yet today we're going to charge 25 grand, and it's a refundable deposit. Refundable deposit. So what do I mean by that? Basically, I need you to put up 25 grand today to show me that you're serious. You start wasting my time, that's it. That's on you. That's on you. But I'm going to show you the mindset so you don't waste my time, because that's all it is. It's all this. It's all this. But with that $25,000 refundable deposit, once we do our first deal and we JV on our first deal, my portion of that deal goes right back to you. So say our profit's 100K, I'm going to show you how to do these big deals. I don't do little deals, 20K here, 5K there. Those are wholesale deals for me. When we do a flip, my flips have to be 40, 50 or better. That's for a light flip in the Midwest. Most of my flips is 100K or better, 6 figures or better. And so when we do our first flip, 75K will go to you and 25K goes to me versus 50-50. And we could continue to do more partnerships together. It'll just be a 50-50 split. And so today, if you want to get access to this, reach out to Initiatives team, scan this code here, and I'll take any questions you have. How am I looking on time? Do I have time to maybe give some testimonials and things like
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Okay,
And
cool. Let me
absolutely.
answer some questions before I do that.
Yeah, you got a couple of quick questions here.
Yeah, so
Alicia is
go ahead.
asking, what credit card companies can you recommend that have high limits? Is number one.
Mhm.
And then the second part is, just for clarification, would we be applying for credit under personal or our business line of credit? I think she's getting a little confused. So
Alicia, all good, Alicia. Well, it's nice to meet you, Alicia. And so as far as let's answer the second question first. You'll be applying for credit under your business name, not under your personal name. It's just when you apply under your business name, they're going to ask you for your personal information. Yet it's going to be all under your business. None of it will be under your personal credit. The only time you have to worry about it on your personal is if you just do pretty much fraud. Like if you get the money and you just run it up and cash out and then never pay them back, then now, yeah, they're gonna come after you personally. That's what the personal guarantee means. It means that you're held liable for that debt if you screw up. You know, as long as you do the right stuff with your debt, you'll be all right. And then eventually work your way to corporate credit. Now, for this second question, or really is the first question, is what credit card companies could you recommend that have high limits? Wells Fargo is one of them. Bank of America is one of them. Who else I use? Let me look here. Let me look at my American Express gives me large lines. Synchrony Bank, Barclays, Alliant, Citibank. Let's see who else we got over here. Discover is really lenient. I don't know how that's going to pan out because Discover was just bought by, I think it was Capital One, so
Yeah.
it might get a little crazy. So yeah, that's just to give you a few. So what's the
Yeah, and William's got a question. He's saying he's got 3 credit cards from Chase, and I asked him to do 1 inquiry, but they did 3. Can I remove 2 of them without them canceling the cards or other problems?
So you got 3 credit cards but they did 3. No.
Yeah.
So if you remove them, there's a chance that you will remove those accounts. So you got to be very careful for that. And also in any increase that you have accounts reporting positive in regards to those inquiries, it's not going to affect your credit score. It only affects your credit score if those accounts are not reporting or if they're in a negative standing. But now, if those credit cards are on your business, now those credit cards in your personal name, you cannot remove those inquiries. If those credit cards or those 3 credit cards are in your business name, but those 3 inquiries on your personal profile, you could remove them and it will not affect the cards in any way.
Yep. And then Lorenzo, before I let you play the testimonials, is this a good program if we've already built up our business credit?
Yes. So in our business success system, you'll be working with one of my coaches. And with our coaches that we utilize, they all have well over 30 years experience. I made sure I vetted them. In fact, one of them was my mentor to help me get started in the business. And in our business success system, when you log into our modules, there's going to be certain modules that deal with you already having a strong business profile so you can start positioning yourself to corporate credit. Because ultimately, that's where we want you to be. You know, the business credit is just a stepping stone to get to that corporate credit because you don't want to really personally guarantee the debt. And once you get to corporate credit, you don't have to personally guarantee that debt. So yes, it will help you out.
All right, I'll let you play some testimonials from
All right.
some of your guys.
And again, all of these include this bonus to my my workshop in June. Let me stop share here and pull up my testimonials here. So I didn't put them in the slides. Give me 1 second here, guys. Like Marshall always says, we deal with what emerges. I couldn't make it back to my room. I'm on the other side. I'm on the Strip and I'm over here in Summerlin. And so, you know, we deal with what emerges, right?
Yep, exactly. And again, I know you're a super busy guy.
Yeah.
Squeeze this in, so I appreciate it all the way through. And what the big thing that the takeaways that I'm getting is that you have to have business credit. I've been building my business credit, and especially if it doesn't count on your personal credit, it's not going to stop you down the road if you want to buy a home, right? Or if there's something that comes in there, because otherwise, if you just keep building your debt to income changes.
Exactly.
And that's going to help you, that's going to hurt you on the financing end of it. So
yeah, exactly. And that's the best part about it is that, there's times where I have to max out everything, including my personal credit. Credit score only matters when you're applying for credit. So a lot of times we like to stick our chest out like I have an 8 something credit score. Yeah, I'm good. And that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything unless you're applying for credit, right? So there's times when I do leverage my personal credit. And when I do, I just know at that point, I'm just not going to apply for anything because I won't get approved. So it's just all about having that strategy because my score tanks because of that income ratio it just screws it all up. So when it's on your business, now you keep that as a clear slate. I don't even like to have mortgages or anything on my personal credit. I have 1 mortgage left on my personal credit that I'm actually getting ready to refinance out of that now into a DSCR loan that's going to be attached to the business, Yeah,
it makes sense. I mean, I think, you having access like that, it just moves like, that speed to get the deals done, right? Is that you don't have to wait for the hard money lender. Again, I have hard money lenders, same thing. It still takes some time to get them to underwrite it, and sometimes speed gets you the deal. So
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, let me pull this up here and
yeah, go for it.
I'll give you this. You'll actually get a kick out of this one because I think you know these guys. Let me share my screen.
Yep.
Well, actually, wait a second. I think I gotta share. Let me stop share. I think I gotta also share when I share the sound too. Okay, let's try this.
Yep, there you go.
All right, let me move the Zoom bar out the way and push play.
Hey there, we're Jordan and Amanda Solomon.
And we want to share our experience with a company that
Can you hear it?
changed our financial lives.
You see, we faced some credit challenges that we just couldn't seem to shake off. We went to 4 different credit repair companies, spent nearly $10,000, but every time we ended up with nothing more than frustration and honestly despair.
But then we found Seven Financial, run by the man himself, Mr. David Selvin, also known as Mr. Prosperity.
With Selvin Financial, it wasn't just another transaction, it was transformative. David and his team dove into our case, taking on the challenging and even frivolous negative items on our credit report that other companies wouldn't even touch.
And they didn't just touch those negative items, they eliminated them. For the first time, we saw real, tangible results, and it was like having a weight lifted off of our shoulders.
Mr. Prosperity isn't just a nickname. It's a testament to what David and his team at Selvin Financial accomplish. They don't just repair your credit, they help you reclaim your financial independence.
So if you've been struggling with credit issues, you've gone from one company to another with no real progress like us, we can't recommend Selvin Financial enough.
They're not just another credit repair company. They're the last one you'll need. They stand by you, they fight for you, and most importantly, they deliver.
With Selvin Financial, we finally turned frustration into freedom, and you can too.
Thank you, Mr. Prosperity, and thank you, Selvin Financial, for empowering us to reclaim our financial future. Hey there, we're Jordan and Amanda.
I don't know how that happened. And let me play one last one.
Yep.
See if it's this one here. They're actually on the call too. I seen their names on the call. Super grateful for them. Super grateful to see their progress in my program.
Hello, hi, my name is Patrick. This is my wife, Cora.
Hi.
Honey, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone how Selvin Financial really helped us?
Sure, of course. Well, before joining Selvin Financial, we knew we wanted to invest in real estate, but just didn't know where to start. Our credit wasn't where we needed it to be, and we also needed business funding. So fast forward to October of last year, we joined the program, and in 4 short months, our credit scores jumped significantly. Working with Mark and the business success system got us the business funding we needed. And also the real estate program helped us to learn how to speak more to sellers confidently, and also helped us put offers out on properties.
Yeah. So that's why we really want to show our gratitude to Dave, Mark, and the team. We really appreciate you, and we want to tell you thank you.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. Really, really proud of them as well, man. They're doing great and excelling really good.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me, Anish. If there's any questions, I'm willing to answer and stay on as long as I need to.
You guys, last chance, last call for questions. I do have a winner for a raffle, free membership. Congratulations, drum roll. Marcelo, congrats, Marcelo. You got the free membership. You guys, David, I just popped your Instagram in there as well, but if you want to plug yourself in anywhere else, but I'm also going to send each and every one of you a thank you email after today's session. So please look out for my email from me, alexa@bpmreia.com. I love this topic. It's so important to get the money right and to have the mindset, especially. And I just love your attitude, David. Your personality, I just love it. It's so infectious. And you guys, if you want to work with David, you can. All you have to do is go to this link. I'll put it in the chat one more time for you guys. And those testimonials were so good. I love that they're in here watching this with you and with us. That is so awesome. You can already tell that you created a really strong community and that they support you. And it's like a very good relationship you have with the people that you work with. So I love to see it. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I'm also going to pop in the chat the link to the YouTube channel where you guys can find the replay for tonight. And David, any last words? That was amazing.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me, guys. Like, I'm really excited to be here. This was great. I'm glad I was able to give this information out to you guys. And, I'm really, really passionate about what I do because of how it changed my life. If you guys knew me back then, you would really understand what I'm saying. It's really changed my life immensely. And now I live the life of my dreams, and I'm super blessed for it. So now I just want to help other people and help other people achieve their goals and achieve their dreams.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
David, I want to thank you personally. Obviously, we were friends and our paths have crossed a few times this past year. And one of the things is, you guys know, you come to the webinars with me or the in-person meetings, I'm a hell of a negotiator. So you saw what he normally charges. This is only good until tomorrow. Is that what we
Yes.
decided?
Yes.
Because I know some of you
24
guys-
hours.
on this end of it, and the other end of it is, if you don't have credit, what are you going to do, right? And this is a way to build your business quickly by building credit to buy properties, or even leverage it in a way that, hey, it's that 10% or 20% while you're teaming with a hard money lender or a private lender. So again, as I said, I've seen him change people's lives with their credit profiles, and he's the real deal too. So thank you so much, David, for hanging out with us. Enjoy Las Vegas.
Yes. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary. And I know I'll see you in probably the next few months.
For sure. We're definitely gonna hook up. And I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate you having me. Thank you. And this is-
Absolutely. Have a great class tomorrow in Vegas. All the best things for you. And thank you so much for taking the time. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in and staying on till the end. We love that. We will see you guys again soon. We'll see you next week. And again, send me an email, connect with me. I'll be sending each and every one of you an email right now. So look out for it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, David. Thank you,
you, guys.
Anish.
Bye,
We'll
guys.
see you next time. Bye-bye.